From your local news leader, this is NBC 10 News Today.
President Trump making a stop in Sportsman's Paradise where he talks infrastructure, the economy, and makes a campaign promise. Details coming up.
And two totaled cars fall off a tow truck, one of them landing on I-20. What charges the driver is facing? Coming up.
Plus, a camp helping kids battling cancer needs your help. We'll tell you how you can get involved. Good morning. It is 5 a.m. I'm Randy Ayala.
And I'm Chris Immersion.
Welcome back.
I know. Off 2 hours of sleep. I'm going to see how I'm going to do this morning.
How was Sulphur?
It was great. It was pretty fun. Congrats to Sterlington, OCS, and really Summerfield and West Monroe for making it down as well. But two state champions coming back to Northeast Louisiana.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was kind of cool yesterday during my 5 o'clock live shot. Ben Sheets, you know Ben Sheets. I ran into his wife in an impromptu interview with Ben Sheets and his wife.
All right.
On the 5 o'clock news yesterday.
Well, I missed it.
What were you doing?
Did we get to see it this morning?
Nah, no,
it was live.
It was live.
Exclusive.
It was live. It was exclusive.
You saved the good stuff for the evening crew.
Yes.
They were such a good sport to randomly be okay with being interviewed on the spot.
Other people would not. I mean, they just saying like, oh, who are you? No, I'm not interviewing you. Exactly.
Well, we're glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back. It's fun.
Yes, we're back here. Got some more nice weather in the forecast to talk about all morning long. Warm temperatures this afternoon, climbing back in the mid to upper 80s. Going to be toasty outside. Lots of sunshine to look forward to looking outside. It's still dark. The sun comes up in just over an hour, though. Should be once again another pretty sunrise later this morning. We're going to bring you all those forecast details coming up here soon. That's your forecast first.
President Trump visited the Bayou State yesterday, spending time touring Cameron Parish and promoting energy infrastructure and economic growth, and making a promise to the people of Louisiana.
So the I-10 bridge, and I say this, and I give you this commitment, and I can't play with these three, Steve, John, Bill, everybody sitting here. If we win this election, which is just 16 months away, we're giving you a brand new I-10 bridge.
President Trump promising Hackberry, Louisiana, a new bridge if he receives a second term in the White House. The president made his pledge after visiting the community's natural gas facility. The bridge he wants to replace appears to be the River Bridge. State lawmakers have been working on a way to pay for a replacement for the old structure for some time now. No word on how President Trump plans to keep his commitment if he wins re-election.
A man has been airlifted to the hospital after being hit by a vehicle. It happened on Highway 165 at Renwick Street around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. According to police, a man was trying to cross at that intersection when he was hit by a vehicle heading south. The victim, who has not been identified, was airlifted to Ochsner LSU Health in Shreveport. His injuries are not known at this time. The driver of the vehicle was not ticketed. We'll give updates as soon as we get them.
On to a crime alert. El Dorado police need your help finding two people wanted for terroristic acts. Both Harold Burns Jr. and Harold Stevens III face charges including terroristic acts, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm by a felon, and more. If you know where they are, please do not confront them yourself. They are considered armed and dangerous. Call the El Dorado Police or Crime Stoppers.
Two former Ridgewood guards will be sentenced today for their roles in attacking 5 inmates. Former Sergeant Demario Schaefer of Delhi and former Officer David Parker of Tallulah are accused of conspiring to assault inmates and cover it up. Captain Roderick Douglas and Lieutenant Christopher Loring, both of Monroe, and Officer Quintel Credit of Winsboro, are accused of pepper spraying inmates in their eyes while they were cuffed, complaint, and kneeling. Lieutenant Loring is also charged with failure to intervene, and Schaefer and Parker were with lying to the FBI about it. A 5th ex-guard pleaded guilty to conspiracy, but charges against him were dropped and his guilty plea were vacated after he was shot to death.
A tow truck driver facing charges after police say 2 crushed cars fell off his truck, one of them falling on I-20 and almost landing on 5th Street in West Monroe. West Monroe police say the tow truck driver was hauling 3 crushed cars to a salvage yard when for some reason he swerved his truck, hit the concrete wall, causing 2 of the cars to come loose. A white Chevy landed in the grass below the interstate. The other car ended up in the eastbound lane. No one was hurt, but the driver has been ticketed for having an unsecured load.
Boley Elementary will rebuild from the ashes, and a local church is offering to house students until it's done. The Ouachita Parish School Board has partnered with the Assembly Church to provide classrooms. Kindergarten through 5th grades will go to a former nursing home behind the Walmart Supercenter in West Monroe. The Assembly bought the building to use as a Bible college. The board unanimously voted to rebuild Boley on its original site. Architect Tim Brandon will design it. It could take a few years for the school to be completed. Students moving to the new site are currently at George Welch Elementary. The pre-kindergarten classes will stay at Crossley Elementary for now. The former school burned down after a lightning strike over a month ago.
Hundreds making the drive to Hot Springs to get their hands on some of the first legal medical marijuana available in Arkansas. As of close of business yesterday, over 1,100 certified patients purchased cannabis since the first official sale this past Friday. People from as far away as Wynne, Jonesboro, and Fayetteville drove several hours, all to wait several more in line to get inside one of the dispensaries. Some patients waited as long as 5.5 hours before being able to step inside the door. Arkansas's limit is 2.5 ounces per visit, but the dispensaries are rationing supply until the harvest grows. All right, camp is a summer tradition that many of us take for granted. Camp Quality USA is a special camp for a special group of people.
But they need your help. NBC 10's Chelsea Jones tells us exactly what they need.
Cancer, a disease that affects 1 out of every 3 people in the United States.
Most of the places we can go isn't like, people ask us like, oh, you had cancer, how was that?
Kyle Watson was diagnosed with cancer when he was only 6 years old. It affected his brain and spine. But it was summer camp at Camp Quality that gave him a chance to be normal.
Everybody's gone through that. They don't have any questions because they know the routine.
And the idea behind the camp is simple.
Well, we can't control the quantity of life, but we can control the quality of life.
Camp Quality is a week-long camp at King's Camp in Marouge for children ages 5 to 17. Watson, who is in his 4th year of remission, says it's activities like horseback riding that makes the camp fun. But they're in need of
kids. You know, it's just kind of hard to go out there and say, hey, we're looking for kids with cancer, but we are.
45 kids that have or have had cancer, and their siblings can come too. The cost is free. For Watson, cancer has never really been a bad thing.
You never feel sad. You don't even realize you're sick.
He says the worst part.
To tell the truth, the thing I was most upset about was having to get my hair.
Camp Quality has given Watson a home, one that he's hopeful others will fall in love with too.
Please volunteer. Please come. Definitely worth it.
In West Monroe, Chelsea Jones, NBC 10, your local news leader.
All right, thanks, Chelsea. They sacrifice so much to keep our country free, and yet there are hundreds of homeless veterans living on the streets of the ArkLaMiss. Our second annual Homeless Veterans Food Drive is now underway.
Last year, we collected 10.5 tons of food. NBC 10 is partnering with the United Way, the Wellspring, and Max Fresh Markets. Once again this year, you can drop off any non-perishable food items at any Max Fresh Market, Jackson Street Church of Christ, First United Methodist Church in Monroe, and right here at the NBC 10 studios in West Monroe. Together, we can get our homeless veterans the support they need. We are in the clear for severe storms for now, but there's still plenty of cleaning up to do. Coming up next,
how the city of Monroe is helping folks clean up storm debris by temporarily changing a trash ordinance. But first, here's Reed with a look at that fish and game forecast.
Beautiful morning outside, temperatures nice and comfortable, and there's no rain. Another warm and sunny day on tap. Rain chances do return for us, but not till the weekend. Gonna bring you all those details coming up here soon. First, here's a look at your fishing game forecast.